So welcome everybody to our June approved talent all hands. We are recording this. I had a lot of people ask me if we can just post it afterwards because they couldn't make it live. So it's nice to see people are interested. Um, Apologies for my appearance. I haven't had a haircut in 4 months, so I'm wearing a hat these days. But what I like to do at the top of these is give a quick overview of the project because we do have a fair number of new people that have joined. And so, very quickly, Braintrust is a brand new global talent marketplace that connects experienced, talented tech workers, so engineers, designers, developers, project managers, product managers all over the world with Fortune 1000, generally US companies that need their talent desperately to work on really sophisticated projects and cannot hire and retain these folks in-house. So we are fixing a problem for both sides of this marketplace. On the talent side, we know you guys don't really like having to go do client pitches, having to constantly try to build your business and look for more work. We know you just like doing the great work and being creative. On the client side, it is very hard for these companies to fill these roles with really skilled talent on a contract basis, or really on any basis, full-time or contract. But these folks are, they can't go to Upwork. That marketplace is far too hard to use, too spammy, not filtered and curated like ours. And when they go to agencies, they're just being overcharged and they have no idea who's doing the work. And it's a really poor experience many times. So we're fixing a really unique problem for both sides of the marketplace. And the good news is it's working. We're seeing really great growth here. I want to acknowledge a big milestone we hit last week. So, we've been working on this in stealth mode, which is, Silicon Valley speak for no one cares what we're doing. So there's no notability to it. And so we've been building this thing for 2 years. It was 2 years ago I first wrote this sort of the economic model and the business plan, and we finally emerged from stealth last week on Wednesday, and we're able to tell our story globally, and we had the help of the New York Times and Fortune and CoinDesk and Yahoo Finance and a few others to really tell the story about what we're doing and how it's unique and why people should care. So big thanks to all of you on the approved talent side that helped us tell that story via social media, be it LinkedIn or Twitter. I feel a little funny asking you guys to post a LinkedIn message or a Twitter message, and because a lot of us don't really use those networks, or I certainly didn't before this company. But there's a reason for it. It's not a vanity thing for us. It's not like, hey, let's get more clicks. The strategy, which is working now, is sort of, we build this brand publicly with two strategies. One, having these high level media outlets like the New York Times and Fortune tell our story. And then having the talent, our clients, our advisors, our investors, our employees, everyone associated with our project also telling our story, but in their voice on their own channels. And when you combine those two strategies together, you get this great reverberation effect. And what it does is it expands the reach. And I'll let Shirley talk about maybe some more specific numbers later on about how that reach, how dramatic that reach really was last week and continues to be this week. But the point of it all is back to our mission of getting more great talent like you all and more amazing clients like NASA and Porsche and Nestle and all these new ones we're bringing on. And so last week it really worked. We've loaded the pipeline on the client side with over 150 new people who came in to be interested in posting jobs. We've got thousands of folks on the waiting list for talent, and so this is really like it's the strategy is really working. This is something that we've been cooking up for a long time, and look, this wouldn't be as successful without all of you guys doing your part. I know it feels like a small contribution to like put out a tweet, tag Braintrust, put up a LinkedIn message, tag Braintrust. It makes a difference. Like when you get like 100 people to do it at the same time on the same day, makes a huge difference. Imagine when we're even bigger. So I wanted to give some color to that. Really appreciate that. It matters a lot. It's a great strategy. We're never going to pay money for marketing like that. This is an organic project. It's a nonprofit. We're not making any money on that 10%. We're paying our bills with it. And so, having our community really tell the story is critical. Let me now hand it over to Shirley to give updates from her side.
Great, thanks, Adam. And so I think I can just provide a few quick numbers on the PR front. So last week alone, we have over 600 some posts, unique posts from people on Twitter and LinkedIn. So that's awesome. And in terms of reach, how many eyeballs actually saw us, it was over 4-point-something million. So that's really incredible. And so thank you so much for helping us tell our story. Getting those leads coming into our website is the most important thing for us right now, obviously. And so switching gears, thanks for answering my surveys. I was asking about, hey, what are some interesting topics for the community, because we are getting a lot of interesting folks, not just from the approved talent list, but also we are having waitlist talents coming in the thousands. So I'm still, trying to grasp what is it that's most important to our different segments. And so with the topics, it informed us that we can focus on the following for the next 2 months. One is building a steady pipeline, right? People always want to see, how do I better prospect, better find qualifying clients? So even if it's Braintrust or outside of Braintrust, on LinkedIn or on other network groups, let's explore that together. Another thing would be how to stand out to potential clients online. So there were some discussions on Slack that we saw, hey, we can't really record our NDA portfolios or projects that we've done before, but what are some other ways that we can showcase our work so then people can see our talents? So we'll discuss that. And finally, managing difficult clients. So some of the survey pain points came back to say people are still ghosting, or people are just bad communicators, or they are scope creeping all the time. So we'll discuss what are some experiences and potential solutions to resolve situations like that. And so how I'm thinking of doing this is, beyond providing resources on our blog, we can host virtual events that's discussion based. So for each topic, we'll find someone who is from our talent base, who's experienced in the topic, to lead a discussion, and then you can join as a participant to share your experience. So it's more of a conversation than a webinar. I think that would be interesting for us. We can try that out. If there's any questions or feedback, on Slack all the time. So please let me know. And also, if you're interested in leading a topic, please Slack me and we can get that set up. Separately, we are working on the Braintrust Token Rewards Program. So this is quite exciting. We're asking you to earn Braintrust, and you're like, what for? Well, we're going to showcase that very soon. We have a Google Doc in the Use Braintrust Slack channel where you can input things that you like to redeem tokens for. I see a lot of you here today have already inputted your suggestions. So I'm actually working off that list. So specifically, I am targeting software discounts to start with. Those partnerships include working with Sketch, Adobe Creative Suite, InVision, Zoom, Spotify, Netflix, and more. So lots of fun, awesome rewards I can't wait to share, and I aim to launch this in July. So please look out for that. And so I thought it would be fun for us to provide an opportunity for you to earn Braintrust live right now. The first 3 people, if you want to participate, the first 3 people who can give the correct answer to the following question, you can get 10 Braintrust. Okay, so please provide your answer in the chat box. I'll give you a moment to locate where the chat box is. So my question is, it's super simple. If you take in the token education program, then you'll know. We all know that Braintrust takes 0% from talents. So all of our freelancers keep 100% of your earnings when transacting on our platform. What percentage do we take on the client side? Okay, you all know it's 10%. So super simple one, right? So Thomas, Davide, and Petra, you guys will get 10 Braintrust each. See how easy that is? We'll send that out after the session. There are lots of other ways to earn Braintrust in our Earn Braintrust Slack channel. So please keep your eyes peeled. In the next few weeks, it's going to be PR related. Adam's going to be on Bloomberg this week. So I'm going to ask you to please tweet for us. We always love that.
Michael, we'll get you too, man. No worries.
All right. That's it from me for now.
Great. Thanks, Shirley. Megan, over to you.
Do you mind if I share my screen?
Please do.
All right. Cool. So, I wanted to just give a little bit of, wait, are you guys seeing it?
Yep, looks good.
It all of a sudden didn't have the border around it. So I wanted to give a quick update on the talent network, just to get an idea of what kind of jobs we have right now. So currently we have 11 open roles that we're filling. Most of those, or excuse me, about half of those are actively interviewing already. The big Nestle roles, those have not started to interview yet, just so you know. We added 7 new roles last week. 5 of those were from Nestle Purina. One of those was from Nestle Corporate, and another one from WWT, which would be working with their client, Berkshire Hathaway Energy. We're expecting another 2 to 6 roles this week. That is not including Porsche, which also already added a job this week. So we have 4 major enterprise brands on the platform right now. Nestle, which has 5 open roles, Porsche, Pacific Life, and WWT/Berkshire Hathaway. So we're making a lot of traction with these big name companies, and we're learning a lot with what type of talent they're expecting, what type of profiles they're expecting to see. And so I wanted to share a little bit about what you can do with your profile to stand out to some of these clients. So I listen to clients all day, every day, talk about talent and their profiles. And I talk with talent all day, every day about their profiles. So I want to make sure that I'm not holding that information in and giving you what you need to hear to make sure you're top of the line. So if you want to get an interview, update your profile. It's very, very simple. I will repeat this 500 more times until everybody has perfect profiles. So update your profile. There's 3 really, really key reasons why this is really important, apart from just making the right first impression, which is the easy one. We already know that. The one big thing is that we have a skills match percentage. So when a client is looking at your profile, they see how many skills that you have on your profile match the skills that they have on their job description. If that number is a high number, they automatically have a better impression. If it's low, like 10, 15%, they might discount you, even though you might have those skills, because they're not listed on your profile, it's not registering. So a really easy way to check this is at the bottom of a job description, you'll see the skills listed out. Check to see if you have those skills. And if you do and just kind of forgot to add them, make sure you're adding them to your profile. The number one question that we get from our clients is also related to skills. They want to know, how can we validate this list of skills with who they say they are? How do we know that this is who they actually are, that they have these skills? When I see that they have a Facebook API integration on their skill list, how do I know they didn't do one API integration versus 15 and they've been specializing on this for a really long time? And so that's why projects are a key piece, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But you want to make sure your profile has the support, has the projects and the work history to support the skills that you're claiming you And finally, most people don't know this, but we have a special list. This list has a list of really well-created profiles. They are top profiles, their profiles are completed, they kind of check all of the boxes. And we keep this list on a Google Doc. And when we have a customer that says, well, how do I know I'm gonna get good talent? How do I know that you have great engineers? We send them a couple samples from that list of really top talent. So you want to be on that list. And I'm constantly looking at profiles to see if they go above and beyond. These are not people that just have 100% complete. These are people that have really, really gone over and above to make sure their profiles shine. So don't worry, we have a checklist for what that can look like. So the first thing is your profile picture has to be clear. Don't use a vacation photo. Don't use a selfie where you cropped out your best friend. Make sure you are wearing clothing that you would normally wear to an interview. You have a nice, clean, clear background, and it's not busy. If you're wearing sunglasses, a hat, sorry, Adam, to call you out on that one, but backpack, all of those things, they're not going to give you the right first impression. And if you don't have a professional photo, that's okay. You can use an avatar as long as it's professional. You can use a logo for your personal brand. You can, as long as it's clear and professional, it's okay to use those things. Similarly with your background photo, make sure that's clear, professional, simple, and enhancing your profile. Make sure your professional and network links are added. You're going to want to create an excellent introduction. You can use this to outline who you are. You can use your talking points, links to demo videos that you've done, links to your portfolios, pitch decks that you have about who you are. You're also going to want to have an appropriate number of skills. There is a fine balance here. Too few and you don't look skilled enough. Too many and it's overwhelming and people think you're full of BS. So you want to keep it right in the 20 to 30 range, and you want to make sure that those are the skills that you have, really tight skills. Of course, you can add and adjust based on the job description that you're applying for as well. Focus areas highlight what you are an expert in. We all have room for improvement. We all have room for growth. Nobody ever can claim that they are 100% an expert in everything. But these should be the places where you really shine and excel. So if that line isn't fully green, you might think about choosing a focus area that will allow you to move it to a full green top of the ranking. Next, great profiles have great projects. It's very simple. We ask that you have two projects to be approved, but the best ones have 6 to 10. And they're not throwaway opportunities here. The best profiles tell an in-depth description that tell a story. They talk about what the project was. They talk about the problem that they solved. They talk about how they approached the solution, the process, lessons learned, and what was enabled because of that. These are in-depth stories. They're narrations. They use mini photos, and then they use the projects to their advantage. They link out to demo videos. They have multiple photos at a time. They highlight and annotate those images to showcase the choices that they made and the pieces that they worked on. Of course, this is kind of a no-brainer, but your work history has great descriptions and you have your education and certifications for applicable. Do not let your profile go stale. Make sure you are updating it all the time. I suggest putting a 10-minute reminder on your calendar every week, just a 10-minute thing to keep it fresh, add new projects, enhance things in a different way. So I want to show you a really great profile. This is a profile that I worked really closely with Tiffany. So she is looking for help to improve her profile. And we worked pretty closely together where I was able to give her some good tips and we really turned her profile around. So you'll notice her profile picture is really clean. It's simple, it's professional, it's authoritative. You instantly trust the person in this photo. The background image enhances the profile. It's not too busy, it's aspirational, it's clean, simple, focused. She has her professional network added. She has an appropriate number of skills. She's a project manager and a marketing manager. And so these skills really needed to showcase that ability for her. And her focus areas, that green line is all the way up. And she used projects to her advantage. So when she was looking at the job description, they were looking for an event that needed to be managed. She was not an event coordinator, so her work history wasn't going to be able to accurately describe that activity that she's done. So she used projects to her advantage. In some cases, she did not have photos for these images, but she went on, found some free stock images that were available and accessible online that were clean, simple, easy to view, and she was able to put really good photos in there so that became more clickable. So we are always listening. We are always thinking about ways to improve our product and improve our platform for our talent, for our clients. And so I want to know what would make you shine on your profile. What can we add to profiles that are going to highlight your skills, experience, personality, expertise? Send me a Slack message, send me an email. We are always listening. And just remember, this is your network. We're trying to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help you guys get jobs. So that is what I have. Were there any questions that I can answer for anybody?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Megan. It is great to have you on the team for many reasons, but not least of which is now I don't have to say it in all of these calls how important it is to update your profiles. So as usual, you said it better than I did as well. So thank you so much for that. Alrighty, next up, we're going to talk, I'm going to give a quick update about a big win we had this month, and then we'll talk about some product features we have coming. So as some of you or many of you know, as you saw in Slack, we won the contract with NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, if you're not into acronyms. This was very, very exciting for us, not just because it's a great logo, but it's also a potentially great opportunity to work with the entire US federal government, because NASA's group that doled out this contract works with every federal agency on crowdsourcing projects or freelance projects. So NASA acts as the front door when another federal agency says they need help building software or products. So this is, we were very excited for this one. It came out of challenge competitions that they used to run. You may have seen these. They'd put up $10 million for who could build the best lunar rover. And now they've expanded this into freelance and design and other software engineering projects. They have admitted they don't know exactly how it's going to work. They're going to be learning with all of us. So it's pretty exciting and open-ended. It was a lengthy 11-month procurement process to get through this. There are a lot of hoops to jump through when you want to work with the government, and we made it. There were about 75 companies who submitted proposals who were interested in the work out of about 300 initially who said, yeah, that sounds good. And then they realized how much work it was going to be. So that whittled down to 75, and we were one of 19 companies who made the cut. So thank you very much to everyone who had your nice looking profiles updated so we could showcase those and showcase our talent. So a brand new small-ish company at the time made it above the bar that they set. So thank you so much for that. As you may have seen, we submitted our first proposal a couple of weeks ago. It's the first task order that came out of this work. We think there's going to be, it's looking like maybe 1 or 2 a month. We don't have a lot of lead time to know. So they work about a month out. They try to get as far ahead as they can. So we'll see if we're able to get any more heads up on those task orders as they come out. But the process looks like they give us a heads up that something's coming. It's not much information, just a very high level. And then they release a request for proposal on the task order. And when that happens, we are going to post it as a job on our network that anyone can apply to help build that proposal. And we'll work closely with our team, myself included, to build that and submit it. If we end up winning, you win the work if you want it. If you don't want it, then we can post it back out to our network and find another team of people to do it. So that's the process we think is going to work the best. If you have any strong opinions about that, shoot me a note and we can change it as we go. But we came up with that just to think it might be the easiest and most fair for people, knowing that we're all in this together and it takes quite a bit of work to win one of these. So we want to reward those people who are doing the work. Next up, I want to talk about product as we normally do. As usual in all of our sprints, we operate in 1 week sprints. I'm shocked at the amount of work we're able to get done in 1 week. We have a terrific team of people who are designing this, testing it, and developing every feature every week. We don't only try, we actually succeed in having the same mix in all of our sprints with security improvements, bug fixes, and new feature work. In these updates, we focused on the new feature work. It's a little bit more exciting to talk about, and I don't understand the security improvement stuff to talk about anyway. So on the early front, like one thing that we are developing right now, as many of you know, some of these larger enterprise clients, the project teams aren't the ones who are paying the bills. It's their accounts payable department. And those departments, particularly on the largest clients, they have specific rules on when they pay invoices. And so to meet those rules, we've had a monthly batch process that has batched up all of your invoices to get sent off and paid by that team. We're also adding the ability for weekly batches, so we can attempt to speed up the payments for everyone. So it's definitely going to work on a couple of clients because we've already have agreements with them to move to weekly. Some of the larger ones will probably never do that, but our goal is to get you paid as quickly as possible, and this weekly batch option is going to definitely help with that. Another exciting thing we're going to test out and see if this works in an attempt to speed up the screening and hiring process to get you on a job faster. We're adding just a place to stick a link to your availability when you apply to one of the jobs on the platform. We've seen here in the US, at least, that it seems like Calendly is winning this race. A lot of people have their Calendly link in the footer of their email, their signature, where you can quickly grab a meeting based on their availability. So if you haven't used Calendly, it's a pretty cool tool. It's free to use. You just go in there, set when you would like to be available for screenings. Once you apply to a job, the employer will see that, and it's as simple as just clicking the time. It books the meeting, and it already has integration with Google Hangouts, and through at least September, it has Zoom for free as well. A silver lining of COVID, they've expanded the integrations they have for video conferencing. So we think this is going to help make people stand out and get interviews faster. So we're going to give that a shot and see if it works. If it really takes off, then we may build a more integrated or enterprise solution for that. So we'll be asking and giving some tips on how to get that set up, and we'll see how it works. And then, as Megan was mentioning, how important the skills are on your profiles, we're also going to be doing some skills normalization work to make sure that skills are all showing up correctly. So everyone has kind of the same list to pick from, and they're standardized. So it's a little bit easier to add skills to your profile, and just cleans everything up as clients are going through and screening different people, looking at a lot of different profiles, just making sure everything looks clean. And that is it from me. So I think we're going to turn it over back to Adam for some Q&A.
Great. Thanks so much, Megan, Mark, and Shirley. That was a bunch of great updates. It's just amazing how much happens here in a month's time. All right, let me open it up for Q&A here. Let me look at the box. Okay, Michael asked, this is probably a question for Mark. Will security clearances be a blocker for that NASA work, do you think?
No, it's highly unlikely. A lot of these are they're really straight ahead. They're like some of them definitely touch more maybe higher security areas. Like we have one that's going to be coming. Probably the next one is dealing with algorithms for personally identifiable information, PII. So you don't need a security clearance to work for that one, but it's dealing with an area within the security realm. But a lot of these are, this group is focused on crowdsourcing and freelance work. And we don't expect that there's going to be any requirements for a security clearance.
Great to hear. It's just really impressive to see all of the amazing projects that are hitting this platform this month and over the rest of the summer and on. I mean, we're seeing new stuff from Porsche and Nestle and all these clients. And so, you know, one thing I wanted to remind everybody, if you see something post and it's kind of sitting there and you know, Megan is pinging you guys and saying, hey, like, you know, we still don't look like we've got the right candidate for this. If you refer somebody using your code and they sign up, you'll get a percentage of what that person transacts forever through our Braintrust protocol. And so it basically, every time they get an invoice paid, you're gonna get some percentage of, I shouldn't say forever, there has to be some kind of finite expiration on it that has yet to be determined, but it'll be a way out. And you'll be able to earn Braintrust tokens for making these kind of like hard to find referrals, or if you just know somebody in your network who happens to be good at this. We don't do the percentage for all referrals, but for some of them, as they get harder to fill, you'll be able to get those bonuses. Here's another question here. This is from Davide. Now that we're out of stealth, is it the right time to have token holder meetings? What do you mean by that, Davide? I like the sound of it though. I'll wait for him to reply to that. Let's see what else. Oh, here, I just tried, Davide, see if you can do your question live.
Hello?
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey, we can hear you.
Hi. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for having this chat. So I was thinking about something similar to shareholder meetings or director boards or whatever you want to call a round table with people that already has tokens to, I don't know, decide on minor changes in the program or any other issue that can be raised by the rest of us.
Yeah, great. Thank you for, thanks for the question and thanks for clarifying. This is the governance of the network topic. This is one of my favorite parts of what we're building, because we're building a user-owned, user-controlled network where when you get the token, you can redeem it for a bunch of cool stuff like the programs Shirley's running. Eventually, you're going to be able to stake the token along with bids to make your bids stand out on a job. But also, very importantly, you'll be able to decide the rules of the Braintrust network by voting your token. So this is something I've been working on the side, a token voting system. We're actually gonna adopt the voting framework from a protocol called Compound, which is a popular DeFi protocol in the blockchain space. But basically, Compound token holders can vote on issues, propose issues, and then vote on them via this framework. So we're still a couple months out from having that live, Davide. So stay tuned. You'll definitely be in the beta group. I know that. But we're still working on that. And eventually, like, you know, it'll be a very kind of democratic system for voting on, you know, everything from which categories should Braintrust be in, to what should the fees be, to what should screening criteria look like, and so on. So more to come on that. Thanks for the question.
That's great.
All right. Anybody else while we while we've got each other here live. As always, you know, we're all here for you anytime. Hit us on Slack or email. Really appreciate everyone's contribution so far. This is, you know, I'm so happy that we've come this far this year already, and it's only June or about to be July. So lots more great stuff to come the rest of this year. So we'll close it out here. We'll post this to YouTube. Thanks everybody for being here. Great to see you.
Thanks everyone.